Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Vidhan Agrawal, CET 2020 99.99 percentiler. And as you already know, we are having our series of interviews with CET 2022 toppers. And today we have another one, Sanket Patil. He had scored 99.94 percentile in CET 2022. And right now he's in JBIMS. So Sanket, firstly, congratulations for the great score. And I hope you're having fun at JBIMS. So before we begin asking you questions on your strategies and other stuff, I would want you to briefly introduce yourself to our viewers so that they understand your background and where you're coming from.
Surely. So thank you, and it is indeed a great feeling to be part of the legacy of JBIMS name. Talking about me, I'm an engineering graduate. I graduated in 2021 from mechanical, and since then I always had the dilemma. I always wanted to go for higher studies, but I had the dilemma whether to pursue a career in management or in the technical. So go for GATE and masters and stuff. So there, I again had a lot of opinions from others, a lot of perspectives. But then I decided to take the plunge and go for a career in marketing, in management, looking at the growth and looking at the opportunities there. So after engineering itself, I choose a relevant job. So I worked in the sales department at Byju's for a brief period of time, where I had an introduction of basically what marketing is and how sales work and how management works there. So I gained some field basically experience, and then thought of taking the plunge of leaving the job and then taking the plunge into pursuing the MBA, and for that cracking the competitive examinations.
So that requires some confidence yeah, कि job छोड़ के you're preparing for CET and having that confidence that eventually you'll crack it and get into JVMS. So that's really nice. So
Yeah, I had a lot of sleepless nights over it, but once I decided, then there was nothing stopping me.
I know, I know. So yeah, that's really nice. You're leaving your job, and quite a lot of people leave their jobs before CET because they feel कि time नहीं मिल पाता and they won't be able to cope
That
up.
is the main concern. Yeah.
But nevertheless, so Sanket, so tell us something about your preparation. Yeah, so which all test providers you were with, and which all mocks you used to give, and how many mocks did you attempt for CET before
Okay.
CET?
Yeah. So for C, I would say that my first attempt was in 2021, where I did not have any preparation of any sort. I just like took a leave, took a half day from my job, and just went and sat for the exam. In that exam, I got 97 percentile in that year. So it sort of gave me a benchmark of where my aptitude currently stands, and then it gave me the idea that what further I can do if I go fully prepared. So it already it motivated, boosted me there, that okay, if we are standing at this level, if we can prepare well and then go ahead with the same thing, this will be really fruitful for us. So in that way, then I started seriously preparing for it. For the total number of mocks, I would say I had subscribed to CT King mocks, and I had even taken a few mocks through my peer group, through my peer group. So I've taken a few mocks of IMS and other providers as well, ELC, for example. And total number of mocks, I would say I gave around 20 to 22 mocks, full length mocks. I had covered that. And I think in the period of 5 to 6 weeks, I had covered those mocks. And before that, I was completely focused on getting my concepts right. So there was regular brushing, there was regular practice. More than mocks, I think I have dedicated time to solving questions, practicing questions of each topic. So even if there is a topic I did not like, I deliberately used to take up at least some questions of those, at least of easy levels, and used to do them all. Now in like using those strategy, my overall base was built. So I wasn't really like weak in any one area. I was strongest in verbal area, let's say I was the strongest there, but the other areas were medium as well. I tried to keep it medium. I did not like let any one topic slide off. So that is how I went ahead with this.
But that's actually a really good habit. Yeah. So a lot of people I've seen they just completely leave a topic if they don't like it. So I've told them कि भाई अगर even if you don't like this topic, at least उसका basic पढ़ के जाओ because CET में it's not that tough that the questions come from a certain topic. तो अगर बेसिक्स भी पता है, फॉर एग्जांपल प्रोबेबिलिटी, पीएनसी जो पीपल लीव नंबर्स, बेसिक पता है तो यू आर रियली गुड टू गो एंड यू विल एस द एग्जाम. So that's one thing that you all should take away from this interview. Also, Sanket, could you tell our aspirants that initially what you used to score like in your mocks and towards the end, how much you start scoring?
Okay. So while firstly, some mocks I gave before even starting to study for this. So I would actually know where I stand and to know from where I have to build. I think it would be safe to say that I was always close to the number 100. So in the very initial mocks before any studying, obviously I was between a 70-80%. But then through a little bit of revision, some formulas here and there, I could easily touch 100. I knew that these are my strong areas, so I can punch the hardest in them. And whatever weak areas are there, ultimately I knew that CET is a speed game. So I knew that I don't have to focus on solving any one particular question of any one particular topic. I just have to skim the paper, just know what I do, and then go ahead with that. So I was around hundreds at that point. Slowly, gradually, within 2-3 weeks and within a few mocks, it went up to 120s and 130s
Hmm.
for the good level mocks. And then after that, I have to admit, for each mark, there was so much heavy lifting for each mark. It would at least take me 2 to 3 days to at least like gain one mark more from the mock. And if one mock, let's say, goes a little downside, or if I fumble in some area, then immediately the marks would reflect that, oh, I'll drop back to 120. Then that would really hit the confidence there. So it was really important to maintain my composure there, that okay, it's good enough that you're at 120. You just have to pick slowly up from up there. So, and I was so determined with this battle that I did not stop even before the day before CET. So that even the day before CET, at the allotted the slot time, when I knew my slot is in this time, I was still giving the mock there and still trying to get that one last extra boost there. But that goes with saying that I was satisfied with where I was, because then if it goes wrong last day, then it would have really hit me.
That's
So
what's
I was, yeah,
the risky stuff that
exactly,
you did last day.
exactly. I had made peace with where I was there at that point, and then I was slowly trying to build, and that ultimately basically gave me the edge to come up here.
But guys, I wouldn't recommend taking a mock
Yeah.
on the last day. अगर खराब आया by chance, your mind,
Then no.
it's going to take a toll on you. So try to avoid that. If you
Yeah.
are अलग level का confidence, then it doesn't make difference. But I couldn't do that. मैं तो बहुत डर रहा था. So
No, the nervousness is always there. Even I was very nervous. And actually, I would also like to say that the number for my less number of mocks, like only 20, 22, I know I should have like practiced a bit more. Is that I used to get very nervous to start a mock. Once
hmm,
it started, I didn't have a problem to
yeah.
go ahead and score well in that. Just before the starting, before 5 minutes, I was like, karu ki nahi karu? Maybe okay, let's postpone this. Maybe I'll give it tomorrow. I'll prepare better. So that is a very vulnerable point, I would say. We just have to make up our mind that okay, I'm going to give this mock today, and I'm going to learn this from this today itself.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
used to happen to me
keep it
also. बहुत
determined.
डर लगता था. Heart beats fast हो जाता था just before the mock.
Exactly.
But once you start, then you get yourself
Yes,
indulged in the mock so much that you forget all those worries. So yeah.
definitely.
So, Sanket, was there any particular section that you were fond of and the one that you were very weak in? And how did you overcome that weakness?
Yeah. So before starting the exam itself, before starting studying for the exam, I studied the exam first. So
Mm.
I knew, okay, there are three basically sectors here. There's verbal, there's logical and reasoning, and then there's quantitative. So based on my early perceptions of the subject, of starting to go through topics one by one, I immediately knew verbal is going to be one of my strongest areas. Reasons being because I am a fast reader, so I'm able to grasp it really quick. So even if the question has long paragraphs, it wasn't an issue for me, because I had practiced that much by reading articles, reading newspapers, and especially the philosophy and science articles. So the articles that are really relevant to the examination. So I used to read them a lot. Because of the speed I developed, then it naturally used to come to me. Grammar, I used to just brush up a bit, the rules and everything. I did not go very technical in that, because if a student tries to go very technical into the grammar rules, it becomes very confusing at a point. And it also becomes time taking, because then you're trying to put every rule at every question basically. So at that point, I knew, okay, my verbal is sorted by this much. I referred to a number of sources there, so I had a good number of practice as well, and I knew what I was doing with that. For logical and reasoning, it was important for me to be exposed to every kind of question. So, if there is a puzzle, if it's a sitting arrangement, if it's a circular, if it's a triangular or a rectangular, so I just needed to be exposed to each and every type of question. There is a very good saying that I heard during my preparation, is that there should be zero surprises in the CT exam. You should be acquainted with everything that is going to come. Like, take no biases. कि हाँ ये तो नहीं आ सकता या फिर ऐसा, वो doesn't work like that. It's very unpredictable. It is going to be easy, but it's very unpredictable. So be ready with every weapon. So that is why for logical and reasoning, again, the motto was to practice a lot, get to know the number of questions, and to make less errors in them. Logical and reasoning is a very it's a rewarding section, I would say, because if our game goes good, if we are trying, if we know what is the method to apply, and if we follow each and every data point that is given, so the answer comes to us very easily. But if there is a slight misunderstanding, or if there is a slight mistake in any one of the step, then immediately the whole set goes wrong. So then it immediately becomes a very time consuming question basically, because you have already lost like a minute or two on the puzzle you're trying to do, and you're not getting those marks in that moment. So the marks per minute metric really takes a hit there. So for logic and reasoning, it is very important to be very calm and composed, and take the question as it is. If at all it is a new question to you, that you're not acquainted with this type of method of sum or this type, it is really recommended to just leave it at that point, because even if we try to do it, it will cost you marks or time or both. So for logical and reasoning, I was sorted there. Now coming to quantitative, that happens to be a bit of a twisted story for me, because during my preparation, a mentor told me कि तू engineer होके, you're the best in verbal, but you're not scoring that much in quants. So he's like, तू बाहर home field में छोड़ के तू बाहर के field में जाके run मार के आता है. Yeah. So for quantitative, I realized that okay, maybe I'm not able to figure out that much. The time actually I used to take was to figure out what is the data given and where do I apply it. Like, I knew the formulas. I knew the formulas and the methods that are to solve.
क्या लेना है, किधर डालना है.
Yeah, exactly. That became a bit of a confusing factor for me sometimes, because it depends on the language of the question as well. So that is why that was a hindrance factor to me there. So I knew, taking an overview of all three sections, I knew that I had to punch hardest in my strongest section, in the verbal section. And in the con section, it is okay if I float by. It is not necessary for me to, necessarily dig deep into it and try to solve the hardest, try to solve even the hardest that is coming. Even if I go by the easy and the medium ones, even if I, can figure out the answer by some techniques here and there, by some shortcuts, it's okay. It will cover the marks for me. So quantitative that way was a weak section of mine. But then I made sure to do enough to just float in that, and not just leave it, completely.
That was a really comprehensive answer, Sanket. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure our viewers would get a lot of insights from that answer. हर एक section को, the way you have described, I'm sure many would be facing the same issues and wondering how to overcome that. But with this answer, I'm sure they'd be able to implement these things and eventually overcome the difficulties. So, viewers, this is a very interesting part of the video. We'll be talking about a few glitches that Sanket had to go through during his CMAT exam as well as CET exam. Really interesting stories. And despite of these glitches, he emerged to be a winner in CET and get into JBIMS. So let's hear him out. Let's see what those glitches were. Go ahead,
Sure.
Sanket.
Yeah. So before starting with these interesting stories, I'll just like to tell you why I'm trying to tell you these. The main point of this is key examination is not only about the preparation from the books and or the question preparation, like kitna aata hai tumhe and how much you are able to crack these questions. It's all about the pressure and the mental state too. People with very high IQ, let's say, or people who are very well prepared, if they can't take the pressure on the day, if they are not able to perform in the exam, it's just not going to matter. And a guy with who has not prepared that much, who even considers himself average, but he has the confidence and the composure to sit through that examination. If he makes the maximum of out of that point, even that guy can top the examination. So having that in mind, I'll like to continue. So in the CMAT examination, the the line is that I gave the CMAT exam. So here it's how it's went. The CMET examination was only one slot, 3 to 6 p.m. I sat at, they designated a place. I sat there and the exam went on. Now, the exam went on very smoothly. I had attempted a really good chunk. So I think my attempts were around 94 out of 100. And I knew that some questions I had to completely avoid in GK. Now the temptation is always there to, okay, there is a plus four, whatever. There is a plus mark, but there is also negative. So the temptation are always there that if I take a chance, maybe I'll go in the top rank, but वापस negative आ गया तो I'll fall. So that was what that dilemma was there. But I had decided कि okay, we have to not over attempt this exam. बिल्कुल, we have to be on point. So the sections were verbal was good. Logical was good. Even quants went good. Innovation and entrepreneurship also went good for me. I was very good prepared, and even the score reflected good. Now in the GK part, so at 5:59, I had decided that okay, I'm going to attempt 94 questions only out of 100. Now at 5:59, exactly the time got ended, and everyone got a thank you message on their screen, and just everyone got up and left. Now I had this circle in front of me. It was still loading, loading, loading. And I thought, okay, maybe something's wrong. So I didn't budge from there and I called the invigilator. The invigilator came there. I don't think he had much idea of that. So he just saw the loading sign. He's like, हाँ आप जाओ हो गया आपका करके आप जाओ हो जाएगा. I somehow got the feeling that no,
नहीं
let's just
होएगा.
stay. Na. हाँ मतलब it was my mentality was like I prepared for this exam. Let me just see a thank you message on the screen, like at least that. So I was like, अब एक काम करो, let's just make sure that this is submitted and then I'll go. So he was like, okay, maybe I'll call another guy. So they called up few technical guys and they tried to see that. So during this thing, my invigilator had an idea, I don't know what, and he just went ahead and restarted my computer. And what happens when you restart a computer with a file that is not saved? And
It's all
so,
gone.
yeah, so that happened. I was just watching because they are the responsible people. So I didn't interfere with that. I was just waiting and watching. And after 15 minutes or so, they get a call saying, has that candidate left? So they were in, I was right in front of them. So they said, no, he's right here. You have to ask him to give the paper again
Oh
because
my
none
God.
of none of his options are recorded. So catch him and make him do it again, and give it to me. And I panicked a bit there, but I was determined. So I had my composure and calmness there. That okay, ठीक है, चलो ये situation है, कोई बात नहीं, we'll face it, whatever it is. So they started the exam again for me, and I sat for the exam. My phone was completely, it was buzzing again and again with my parents calling me, "Arey, exam ho gaya," and he's still not called back. Maybe something went like really wrong. So they got all worried there.
And the
But here I
questions
was
would
like,
have been same, no?
yeah. So the questions were same, and I even remembered some of them. So verbal questions I easily remembered, and I marked it really quick. The timer was of I think was of 1 hour 40 minutes kuch to diya tha. So after this happened at 6:40, 6:30, 6:40. So till 8:30 p.m. I was there, and the questions were the same. I gave the verbal correctly. The cons was also I remembered quite a few options. DILR, the puzzles I had to solve again a bit because
But
not
it would
really
have been
remembering.
easier for you, na? Matlab, this
Yeah.
opportunity
So
would have been
definitely
better for you to score more.
it did work in my favor there. But then while coming in the GK, so why did I tell you earlier about the GK part was now here I had the option to mark my answers again.
Hmm.
And in this whole in this whole problem, what happened was I easily got overcome by the temptation. I thought, chalo, second chance aa gaya. Let us just, mark this quickly. And I over attempted there.
Okay.
And my final attempts went up to 98 out of 100.
Damn.
And that is where I got caught out. And then the marks reflected. Two or three questions went wrong there, and then that slid me down the ranks, and ultimately cost me the chance of getting into JB through CMAT. Firstly, so that happened there. Now, then I came back home. I was obviously that time I was hopeful. Ki, okay, maybe I got a chance. But so basically, I started preparing again. Then that okay, now it's time for CT. Let us focus on CT then. So I went through the whole mocks, started preparing again, started tried on many strategies. And I'm a firm believer that one sock does not fit all. So I did not just listen to one mentor and then copied the same as it is. I tried to just put in to my tried all the strategies that okay, maybe first puzzles, maybe first verbal, like that, and then decided my final strategy. So in CET exam, I go up there. It's a morning slot, and I sit for the examination. Now while giving the examination, they take the attendance record, right? So already I had a small cubicle for solving these questions, and I was in the middle of a quantitative question. This guy came, the invigilator came, he checked my ID and my hall ticket, and I don't know why, but he decided to put his shit in front of me and then sign in front of me. Now I realized this, that okay, I would have to stop solving then, and
Yeah.
obviously this is going to cost me something. In CET, every second costs you something. So I firmly, it was my instinct, I firmly just put my hand out, put my shoulder, and just give him a slight push that no, I won't be allowing this. I need to focus on my paper, and you can do whatever you want other side. And so even he stood back there. So the moral is that you have to be really firm and be so focused and dedicated that nothing else interferes
We
with it.
can't lose those seconds. It's very
Exactly.
crucial.
And moving on to the second part where the computer shut off twice. So
Nightmare.
I was solving a 3D puzzle. I'm just on the brink of putting things that okay, I've got this, and the screen suddenly just goes off. The first time this happens, I immediately called out this guy, the invigilator, come fast, fix this. I really need to that, because I had no idea if the timer was still going on. So
Hmm.
that was really going in my brain. Okay, we're losing time. But gladly the timer has frozen, and then we were continuing with the exam. But that interfered with the flow. Now this happened again. So the next time what I did, I was solving something. As soon as the screen went off, I just closed my eyes and I went into my mental maps. And I was thinking of the paper and solving the question there. And I just raised my hand up. So this guy, the invigilator, came there, and I told him that whenever you fix this, just give me a slight push. Until then, I'm going to keep my eyes closed. This is purely to not keep me distracted, to not distract me from here and there anywhere. Some people try to look at him, okay, what is he doing? Is he doing it correctly? Vagara. I don't care about that. I just want to focus on my paper. So I followed that strategy, and as soon as the paper has started again, and then I give it again. The vast contrast there is the guy next to me, the guy sitting next to me. He got so agitated by this, he actually started banging the table. That oh, okay, what the hell is happening? Someone please come, do it fast. So even that was the thing to ignore. Okay, okay, let it be, whatever
He
they
got
like.
scared looking at your computer.
No, even his computer went off at
Oh,
one
okay.
point. So, but his reaction was he started banging the table instantly. Someone come, please go fast. This has happened, and I had to really like ignore him and then focus on my own self. So, we really need to think about these all things too, because this can ultimately factor in while seeing that if you're scoring a 99 percentile, or if you're going into JB or not.
That's crazy, because these computer glitches are the worst nightmare for any aspirant. And that too twice, not even once. So, guys, this can happen during your exam also. And what you have to do is just maintain your calm and composure and just be okay, because that timer, it's not still on, it'll be frozen. You'll get the same time again. Just be calm, don't panic. And despite of these glitches, Sanket would still be able to crack CET 2022 and got into JBIMS. So that's this one hell of a story that I've gotten to hear recently.
Yeah.
Because किसी का इतना glitch देखा ही नहीं है मैंने, and after that glitch getting into JBIMS, that's something. So you have to take this quality from him, guys. Be calm. Beat any
See,
situation.
it's about thinking that the fight is till the end moment, no matter whatever happens in between. Even if you like slug off in one section, or you feel that okay, the paper is going from my hand, it's the fight till the end.
Right.
Whatever we can do, we can push till the end to get
Definitely,
this.
definitely.
Yeah,
That was a really great story. Sanket, you even told me that you used to watch videos from the top percentile and helped you with your preparation. So could you tell our viewers that what helped you with your preparation from the top percentile?
definitely. So, being a student in the preparation phase, I was also on the internet looking for various sources, looking for what strategies to follow, what others are doing basically. Because I think that getting aware of the competition is very important. I need to know what the other guy is doing so that I can do better from it. Because CET is not an examination where you just have to score 90 out of 100 marks and then you will get in. You have to be ranked above someone to get this place. So it gets very competitive. So while this search of mine, I came across the top percentile channel on YouTube, and the videos there really were very relevant to the topic I was seeking. So regarding the preparation, regarding strategies, regarding even motivation, so it was really relevant to me, and I really picked good topics from up there. The Q&A sessions they have, and whenever Vidhan put a video or Anay put a video, so that became I used to instantly watch it. Like I had the subscribe bell button on, so I
Like,
instantly watch it. Exactly, yeah, so that I would stay on up to date basically. That what is the level of preparations are going on, and what are the things they have to offer. And ultimately, the main motive you could say is also motivation, because I am watching six guys in front of me who have already aced the examination. They are in JB, they are getting the best opportunities there. And to hear and listen their stories was really motivating. So I really imagined myself there one day, and I think I have manifested it hard enough to turn it into a reality.
thank you so much, Sanket, for that. Really helps us getting motivated to make such more videos for all the viewers and future JBIMS sites. So really nice to hear that. Just a few more questions, Ankit. Won't take much of your time.
Yeah.
So, could you tell us what your strategy was with the jumble paper during your CET?
Yes, that is a very important one. So I think CET 2021 was the first paper with the jumble. So the examination I had given just for practice, that was the first to be jumbled one. So I already had no idea that it would be jumbled or section wise. So I just
Mm.
sat for the paper there and I observed that. Now CET 2022 was really it was a dilemma that whether it would be jumbled again or they would revert to the old pattern.
Correct.
So I knew I had to be prepared with both of them.
Mm.
So I practiced the jumbled mocks as well and the section wise
Mm.
mocks as well. Now there, what I did was I tried both the strategies. So firstly, the strategy of basically choosing a section and leaving the questions in between. So I know verbal is my strongest. I'll do the verbal first, and I'll skip the cons question in between. I did that strategy. And the second strategy I adopted was to do the question as it comes,
Mm.
whether be it a con section, be it a con question, or let it be a logic section, be it a puzzle even. I used to do it on the spot there and there itself. But out of the two strategies, I think the one with skipping the weaker areas, that gave good returns, I would say.
Okay.
So in that strategy, what happened? I chose my strongest topics: the verbal one, the puzzle ones, and basically the logical ones, where we have to follow a particular series or those. So I knew that my mind would be going the fastest in the first minutes, and then after an hour or so, I will be getting some kind of fatigue there naturally. So completing my strongest sections, I would definitely back those numbers. I would back those marks. There will be no scope of losing them. And then in the remaining time, in the last half an hour, let's say, I'll try to crack the hardest ones. That those questions where we really don't know if I would back this number or not. It's just a pure attempt. There is no guarantee you will get this mark or not. It's just an
Correct.
attempt. So I kept it at the end. It would be a smart decision to keep those at the end itself. So knowing those numbers are already in the back, that also gives it a kind of a mental push. The confidence you have. Okay,
Correct.
the paper is in my stride. Okay, I'm going good. The flow is good. So that gives me a really good boost. That all right, I've done this. Now I've got to do is crack those hard ones. अगर नहीं भी होते तो okay, I'm at a good place. And हो
Yes.
गए तो very good. I'll be उतना मतलब 99.9, then I'll grow. ऐसा.
Yeah.
You can actually imagine that you solve this question 99.91. You solve that question 99.92. Good. So that way.
So yeah, that's a nice strategy because starting with if you finish off easier question, that gives you confidence that itne questions to ho gaye. Now it's the tougher ones, which is tough for everyone. And इसमें से भी थोड़े मैंने निकाल लिया तो I'm in the top percentile.
Exactly.
So yeah, so guys, again, another strategy to follow. Can try this strategy if it works for you. Really nice. So Sanket, one final question is, you'd be knowing that the dates are out. The tentative dates are 18th and 19th December, March for CET 2023.
Yeah.
So what are your opinions and what do you think the aspirants should do right now? How should they prepare for this next 2.5 months-ish?
Yes. So knowing the dates early, and the aspirants still have a good chunk of time in their hands. So so I would advise all of those to take advantage of this basically time chunk and the opportunity they're getting. So it's already declared that the exam dates are here. All you have to do is mark number of days from today itself to that day, and then you have to decide based on the level where you are standing. So do not try to basically jump anywhere, is what I'm trying to say. Be real with yourself. Wherever you are standing, your next goal should be just to take few steps ahead of that. So it starts from a basic brushing of concepts. If you're not good with concepts, do it right now. It's never late. It's never late. Some students get demotivated. Okay, the dates are already out. What if I'm not prepared enough? This stuff. Just start wherever you are, brush up the concepts, start practicing the questions. You'll get an idea, you'll get the hang that okay, I'm good in this topic, I'm not so good. So that is actually a good thing. Knowing that you're not able to solve this will give you instantly the hint कि ठीक है ये exam में avoid करना है. So basically what I'm trying to say, whatever step you take will help you take the examination. So do that first. Brush up the topics. We can definitely practice more sums, and then this is the time to get into the intensive mode of preparation. So try to cut off all the other basically distractions. I would say obviously obligations are there. We have to follow them, but other distractions. So maybe say taking some time out of some leisure activities and putting into work there, because the ultimate reward, this getting into JBIMS is the ultimate reward of putting all that hard work, and it is indeed very very sweet. So I would just say that forget everything else and just put in the work which is remaining for this term. Take the mocks, analyze them basically. I would like to add that mock analysis videos are really the best of the top percentile. Yeah, I just followed them and really got an idea about how to analyze the mock and what to actually gain from it.
Right.
I really understood that the crux is not to look at marks. It is to look at strategy and what you were able to solve and what you were not able to solve. That is the real takeaway from a mock, and which a very small percentage of students are able to get, and those are the students then who crack it and get it here. So yes, so get into the most intensive phase. Start practicing again and again. This even if it gets repetitive, it's good because it's going to help you reduce the time then to solve it. It's not just you have to solve it; you have to solve it in a particular time frame. So time yourself. Basically, try to get in a flow of the examination. Make it a game. What are the inputs? What are the outputs? Try to make it a game. Okay, I'll crack this, and it will really go on. And also, mentorship is really important for the same. So try to look up to various sources like I did, and these guys are all I already know they are there to help, and they are the best I think in the industry. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you
advice will
so
be to
much for
follow
that,
that.
Sanket. And a really great answer that was. And guys, it's not too late, even if you haven't started preparing, because I know so many people who started their preparation in January and still go into JBIMS. So you still have good time with you. And we are there with you. In fact, you can go for our courses, the top percentile course designed by 6 toppers of CET 2020. And we provide you weekly mentoring sessions, weekly doubt solving sessions. We have exclusive WhatsApp groups where all the aspirants together solve tough questions, any doubts they have, we are there on the groups. We help you all. So you can go for that. And of course, Sanket had mentioned about the mock analysis videos. You can have a look at that on our channel, the top percentile. And also, you can reach out to us in case you have any doubts related to the course on our Insta channel, the underscore top underscore percentile. There's a number in the description where you can call or text. And also, there's a website, the toppercentile.co.in, where you can just have a look at the different courses that we offer and who are we, what do we do. And also, there's a Telegram group that we have. You can simply join that where we keep putting updates of videos, our packages, and different things that would help you with your CT preparation. So thank you so much, Sanket, for being with us. It was great talking to you. Really great answers, great experiences. Would really help our viewers and aspirants to gain a lot of knowledge. Thank you so much.
I'm really glad people could use up this, basically take away something or the other from these experiences and definitely put them to use in their own preparation. Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks, Sanket. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so much.